All right, so I'm gonna give you till midnight tomorrow. Do whenever you get a chance to, just whatever it is that you have, just attach them so we don't have a problem. So I can start grading stuff.
So we can take the picture for like the Adobe if you filled it out on paper and now attach it to, or do I need to like enter everything into the submission box?
No, the only thing you have to do is just, all right, instead of just describing it. Okay, yeah, just only thing you have to do is just attach. You don't need to enter anything in there. Just
okay, no, that's fine. I mean, I still have a picture of it because it wouldn't let me do it last time. So that's
okay. It didn't let you do it last time because evidently I forgot to give you guys the opportunity. So, and then I was grading. I'm thinking, I looked at the first person. This person tried to type it out. I said, okay, so things were missing. The second person put down the answers, but there was no work. The third person, once again, put down a few answers. There was no work. And then eventually, when I got to the fifth person, I'm thinking, wait a minute, there's just too much of a pattern here. And I noticed that I didn't even allow you guys, I didn't give you the opportunity to attach anything. So, which means that I have to regrade. All right, guys, just go take a break. So we'll take it from there. Okay, guys, let's get moving.
I can't see PowerPoint.
Bum. Okay, that's weird. All right, let's do it again. All right, did you guys see anything wrong with that scene? Did anybody see anything wrong with that scene? Yeah? Not a single person sees anything wrong with it. Say it again?
That was like the way he bounced off the car.
I got news for you. It's Brad Pitt makes the money that he makes because he can survive something like this twice in one single scene. No question about it. This is what happens when I'm watching a movie. I don't know. This movie came out like late 1990s or something, or more than 20 years ago. And it's Meet Joe Black. It's a really good movie. This happens during the first 10, 15 minutes of the movie in reality. All right. And then I'm watching the movie, and then boom, I see this. Everything that you just watched. All right. So this is less than 2 seconds long. And this scene, it's just a 1 second long scene. And then boom, you remember it years later. It's just so god awful. It's so wrong. You go, holy shit, they missed it completely. I mean, when you're watching a movie, you get really distracted. What's so distracting about it is the way Brad Pitt moves, it's perfect. All right, so you took the first impact, second impact, everything is fine. All right, special effects artists got that right. Action Force is correct. Action Force is correct. Everything is correct. And then I'm looking at the extras. Those guys are doing a phenomenal job. Not everyone is reacting at the same time, but the sound effects. Everyone is reacting differently at different times. Not everyone reacts the same way. So the extras are doing an amazing job, which means that the director is taking this stuff seriously. The only person who's dropping the ball here is the special effects. He just dropped the ball big time. Amazing. Of course, you don't see it because you're not physicists. And that's the advantage of education, guys. The more you know, the more you see in reality. All of us experience the same light, but some of us experience it in high definition. You guys are almost like in a position to watch TV, black and white TV. I see everything in full color. And I also see it in high definition. All of a sudden I look at this, I go, this is just god awful. What's missing here? What's missing here is the reaction force. All right, guys, if a van hits a person, action force is acting on this guy, right? How much force do you think is acting on this guy? I would tell you that there's probably almost 10, 15, possibly 20,000 pounds of force acting on this guy. What that means is this guy was applying the same force back on the van. What happens when you apply 20,000 pounds of force on the van? It's going to dent. Do you see a dent on the car, on the van? No, you don't see a dent on the van at all. And then he hits the windshield. What do you think is going to happen to the windshield if somebody hits it at like a 20,000 pounds of force?
Shatters.
It's going to shatter. It's going to break. Okay, and then there's no damage on this vehicle either. On top of that, he almost made it sound like special effects artists, more than like the director said something. Say, this is nonsense. So they end up putting this window shattering sound. It made it almost look like they were able to knock the wind out of him. I suppose that there's pieces of glass. It just vanishes. It just vanishes. Furthermore, if you apply the same amount of force on the car is not going to keep on moving in a straight line at a constant speed. The car is going to jerk. It's going to slow down. You don't see it because of the fact that they have sound effects into it. But if I get rid of the sound effects, just watch the cars. All right, just watch the cars again. Again. Do you think there's any impact in reality? If you just focus on the cars, you know the cars are not hitting anything. They keep on moving at a constant speed.
No, once the guy hit the van would have swerved.
Or you would have seen a dent on both of them. All right, so that's what would have happened. So this guy completely, because everything takes place within, literally the entire scene is about a second long. From beginning to end, it's about 2 seconds long. All right, he doesn't think that anyone is going to notice it. Of course, technology got so much better today. I could just capture it in video and then just keep showing it a million times. And with the exception of physicists, he knows no one else is going to see it. But you can't get away with that sort of stuff. All right, so everything is phenomenal acting. I'm talking about the extras. Director ended up doing a really good job. Special effects artists just completely messed it up. All right, so what happens? Here's what happens.
The object of this game is to not fall off the pole.
Cars are designed to hit you under your center mass. They are designed to hit you under your center mass. Your center mass is your center of balance. All right, so the cars are designed to hit you under your center of mass. Your center of mass is your center of balance. Speaking of center of balance, the center of balance looks like this. Okay, this was good. I just want to stop it just briefly so you can see it. Guys, center of balance. Do you see this toy? It's got a center of balance at its peak. At its peak, not the peak, the peak that I'm talking about. All right, so notice that that is the center of balance for it. All right, your center of balance is located between your heart and somewhere between your heart and your belly, depending upon how heavy you are. All right, so this person got suspended with respect to the center of mass. So center of mass is going to be your center of balance, and the cars are designed to hit you over your center of mass or under your center of mass or under your center of balance that you're looking at.
He's run 300 cash counts.
All right, so which means that you're going to get pulled over the vehicle in essence. So that's what it does. So you will get hit right under the center of mass, and then you will get pulled over the vehicle.
Using 2 kinds of instrumented dummies. A small one to represent a child, and a larger one to represent a grown.
You don't want to be hit by a bus, by a van, by a train, because those will hit you right at your center of mass. So when you get hit by the center of mass, you're going to turn into a sideways projectile. So you're going to fly this way. If you're a small adult or a kid, you're going to get hit over your center of mass. So when you get hit over your center of mass, you will go under the vehicle. That's the last thing you want. All right, so this guy gets projected forward. The kid goes under immediately.
Rusty is on a mission to figure out why some victims are killed outright.
All right, so you're going to get hit right on the center of mass. Notice that you get projected in the opposite direction. If it's a high-speed collision like that, you get projected outward.
Man.
All right. The problem with that kind of stuff is obviously the guy's just spinning all over the place, and then he may end up landing on his head. So you're looking at a broken neck. The car is still moving. You can go under the vehicle, get run over.
Well,
so you got some problems.
Others, like this woman.
All right, a couple of problems with this one. This is a horrible design. The box design, I think this is probably a Russian car, and she's way too short. So she ended up getting hit right at the center of
Somehow
mass.
managed
So she turned into a sideways projectile.
to survive.
Well, there is more controversy surrounding the MTV show that is called Jackass. A Kentucky teen recently broke bones while portraying a stunt seen on the show. Fox reporter Chris Hawes has the story and a warning now. Some of these pictures are graphic.
Okay, guys, warning. The pictures are not graphic. This is just Fox.
What a jump. What a jump.
Twice, the
You're not going to see much of anything.
cameras show the teenagers practicing what's about to happen. Police say they were getting ready to attempt a stunt they were sure would score them a spot on Jackass, a show on MTV that includes potentially dangerous stunts.
Their stunt was going to be filming a person jumping a vehicle.
The 16-year-old boy stood in front of his friend's car. He would have to jump several feet straight up into the air to avoid being hurt. It was
All right, so the car is coming. The car is moving at 30 miles per hour,
impossible.
and then the impact happens. Boom, and you're not going to see much of anything. All right, so what's happening here? Here's a real life example.
Happened was a
All right, so the amount of force acting on the person is
Or
going to
hitting.
be right at the. This is the point of impact. So the person is going to take the impact at 30 miles per hour. So what happens to the person upon getting hit? If the car is going at 30 miles per hour, what do you suppose is going to happen to the person? All right, so the person is getting hit right there. Person is getting hit right there. All right, the car is coming at you at 30 miles per hour. Upon getting hit, what do you suppose is going to happen to the impact point? How fast do you think it's going to be moving? Any ideas? Most of you guys are thinking, hey, the car hits you at 30, you're going to be moving at 30, right? I got news for you guys. Not really. That's your common sense talking. Your common sense is going to be like 99% of the time you're going to be wrong. So hopefully you guys are getting used to it. Notice that when I actually hit it, it gets out of the way. So look, when you hit it, I can move my hand in that direction right after the impact. I'm not going to be able to touch it again. You touch it once. As soon as you touch it, this thing is going to get out of the way at twice the speed of my hand. So if the car is moving at 30 miles per hour upon impact, the point of impact is going to move at double the speed of the car. If the car is moving at 30 miles per hour, point of impact is going to move at 60 miles per hour. If the car is moving at 60, the point of impact is going to move at 120 miles per hour. So whatever's getting hit is always going to move double the speed of the vehicle. This is known as the conservation of energy and momentum principle, something we're going to touch upon later on. Guys, here's the point of impact. At the point of impact, there's probably going to be 40,000 pounds of force acting on it. So what's going to happen to the point of impact? So that this point of impact is going to end up moving at double the speed of the car. So the force is acting on the point of impact. Center of mass is located here somewhere. There's no direct force acting on the center of mass. Notice that there's absolutely no force acting on the center of mass. Center of mass is free from direct force acting on it. So what does the center of mass do? It says, hey, in the absence of external force, center of mass is not going to move. So what's going to happen, the point of impact is going to get pushed in this direction. It's going to start to move in this direction at double the speed of the car. There's no net force acting on the center of mass. So entire body is going to spin with respect to the center of mass. All right, so the amount of force acting on the bodies, let's assume it's about 40,000 pounds. So according to Newton's third law, he should apply the same force back on the car. What's happening is kind of weird. This person is going to hug the car. That's a good thing. So, which means that the impact force is going to get dispersed onto a larger surface area. He's going to get projected in the upward direction,
Here.
and that's going to make it survival. Notice that there's a huge dispersion of the force onto a larger surface area.
And
And
it's
then he gets projected in the
throwing
upward
up in the air
direction,
even higher than probably what he was even anticipating
and so he's able to survive the impact as a result.
on going.
All right, so the point of impact is going to take 40,000 pounds of force, guys. That means that his legs got shattered,
Police say the teenagers had
but he was able to survive.
been planning the stunt for 2 weeks.
Now, if a car is applying or exerting a 40,000 pounds of force on him, according to Newton's third law, he should be able to apply the same force back on the car. So what happens to the car if that's the case? Well, the action force is acting on him, which means that the reaction force is going to act on the car. Remember, guys, action and reaction forces are the same. They're in opposite directions. His mass is relatively small. The car's mass is relatively big. Same force acting on the bigger mass is going to cause a smaller acceleration. So the car initially is moving at 30 miles per hour, experiencing the same force. The car is going to slow down just a little bit. It's going to accelerate during impact. During impact, the car is going to go from 30 miles per hour to maybe about 29 to 28 miles per hour. That's what you would expect to see. The same amount of force acting back on the car implies that there's going to be a dent on the car. And that's what you would expect
The
to see.
16-year-old boy stood in front of his friend's car. He would have to jump several feet straight up into the air to avoid being hurt. It was impossible.
Happened was a car hitting here.
All right, so you got the action
And
force
it's
acting on him. The reaction force is acting back
throwing
on
him
the
up in the
car.
air even higher than probably what he was even anticipating on going.
And if you're
It
inside
was
the car,
impossible
what do you
to
expect?
avoid. He would have to jump several feet. Stood in front of his friend's car. He would have to jump several feet straight up into the air. The 16-year-old boy stood in front of his friend's car.
And it's throwing him up in the air even anticipating on going.
Oh, doo-doo-doo-doo.
Well, there is more controversy.
It's not the first time Jackass fans have been hurt.
You can see the damage on the car, right? There's a tremendous amount of damage on the car.
The school let out. They
So the reaction force is going to act on the car.
brought the car to the side street across from the high school and got their cameras ready. One boy shot the accident from inside the
The car is going to jerk.
car. Another taped it
It's going to slow down a little bit.
on a nearby lawn. It's not the first time Jackass fans
And there's tremendous amount of damage on the
have
car.
been hurt trying to mimic
So you cannot mistake the reaction force in real
the
life.
types of stunts they see on the show.